Hi everybody, this is Mr. Walden, and today we're going to make these mountain landscape pictures. First thing I want you to understand before we make these is what atmospheric perspective is. Now let's imagine that we're looking at faraway mountains. The air between us and the mountains makes it look a bit fuzzy and lighter. That's atmospheric perspective, and that's what we're going to use when we make these. We're going to use atmospheric perspective when we draw these. Now we're going to make what's called a stencil to make these mountains. A stencil is a template with open areas that can be used to block off certain areas when we make designs. Now we're going to make a stencil out of paper by ripping it. Now I'm going to slowly rip the shape of a mountain out of this paper. When I'm done, I'm going to place the stencil I just made on my paper where I want my first mountain. And I am going to use oil pastel, and I'm going to put that right along the edge of my stencil, pushing pretty hard until my whole mountain shape is covered. I'm not going to pick up my stencil, I'm going to leave it there. Now after that, I'm going to start to smear my oil pastel down. Some artists will use their fingers when they do this. I don't really like the way that feels, so I use paper towel or Kleenex or something like that. But you can use your finger if you'd like. But I'm just going to smear and move that color downward with my stencil being held in the same place. If you need to add a little bit more color again, that's fine. You could do that. Say you think you just need a little bit more, you can add more and then smear that down as well. After that, I just take away my rip paper stencil, and I've got a mountain that shows atmospheric perspective. Now, you're just going to keep doing this as I move down the paper, and there's a reason I use purple to start. The reason I use purple is because it is a cool color. Your basic cool colors are green, blue, and purple, and your basic warm colors are red, orange, and yellow. But you could also include all the different colors in between those as warm or cool. But if that's confusing, just remember violet, another name for purple, blue, and green are cool colors, and warm colors are red, orange, and yellow, kind of like fire colors. Now, when we make these pictures, we're going to use a lot of colors for our mountains that you normally wouldn't see. And that's why I want to talk about what warm and cool colors do with your eyes. Now, cool colors, blue, green, and purple, tend to move backwards in space, while warm colors tend to move forward. Which one of these colors look like they're closer to you? I think the red, the warm colors, or the orange, the warm colors in this picture. This is just one of those tricks artists use, like in this bee picture. The warm colors make the bee look closer. So remember, warm colors make things look closer, while cool colors make things look further away. So when we do these, we're going to start with our cool colors in the background. Right here, I'm going to make another mountain. I'm going to use blue because that's a cool color. And as I move down my page using stencils to make more mountains, I'm going to switch to warm colors as I move down my page because those mountains will be closer to us. And if I use warm colors, they'll look closer. Just a little trick that artists use. So keep making mountains. You can keep ripping new stencils, or you can reuse one if you want. That's fine. And I'm just going to make mountains going down the page, looking like mountains in atmospheric perspective, with cool colors on the top, with the faraway mountains, and warm colors in the closer mountains. Keep it up. This might take a little bit of practice to make mountains like that, and if you want to try on another piece of paper, that's fine. Now, in class, I had these papers with a circle printed out on 11 by 17 paper, but if you're at home and you want to trace a big circle for this, that's fine. You could put them inside that, or you could just have it on normal paper. It looks great like that, too. But keep it up. Take your time. Can be a little bit tricky at first, but I think you'll get it. It's a really cool way to make mountains. Leave a little bit of area at the bottom for the next part because we're going to do some more drawing on this. We're going to draw something in the foreground. Maybe leave some space at the top too for our background. The mountains will be our middle ground. What do I mean when I say foreground, middle ground, background? Foreground is whatever is closest to you in the picture. Background is whatever is farthest away from you. And middle ground is in the middle. Now let's make something in the foreground. I'm going to use colored pencils when I do this. You could use what you want, but kind of these softer kind of colors and marks you get with the colored pencils, I think looks pretty good with these mountains. But if you wanted to use something different, that's all right. Now I'm going to make kind of like a line of trees. First I'm sketching out the basic shapes, and then I'm going back for some of the details. Now in my drawing, I'm going to make it a lake at the bottom, like there's some lake at the bottom of these mountains. So I'm going to draw a little reflection of my line of trees right into where that lake would be. I'm not drawing as hard as I would when I'm drawing the actual trees because, the reflection's going to be kind of more faded, less detailed. Like the reflection just kind of bouncing off the water right there. And then maybe a boat, maybe a little fisherman just kind of hanging out in the water right here. Going to give him a little reflection too. But you don't have to do this, something like this. You can do whatever you want on the bottom for your foreground. Now, how about something in the sky? I am going to use this other stencil I have to make a sun, make a circle for a sun. You could, if you have a stencil like this, you could use it, but you could also just trace anything, bottle cap or something round that you have around the house or in school to make your sun. I'm tracing it with the yellow, and then I think I'm going to add a little bit more red to just kind of give it some more dimension. Now I've got my foreground, middle ground, background, but I am going to continue and add maybe some birds, or I could add more trees, or whatever you wanted to on the mountains, or in the foreground, or in the background. Just these little touches just kind of make your art look so much better. Now, if you did make your design on a circle or oval like I did, it's kind of nice. I could cut it out and put it on a different piece of paper. If you didn't, that's fine. We don't have to do that. I just think that it just kind of frames the paper nicely, makes it look nice if it's in some kind of thing like this. And sometimes it's fun to have drawings that are in different shapes. So if you did this, you can cut it out and glue it to another piece of paper. I really hope you like making your mountain, atmospheric perspective mountain landscape as much as I did. I really like this project, and I hope you do too. This is Mr. Walden, and I'll talk to you guys later.